It's on. All right. Good morning, stakeholders. We are UW Stout Builders. And before we get into our proposal, I just want to say we are beyond excited for you guys, for this beautiful building, and for the city of Utah. To lead off with that, let's get into our introductions for the Hyatt Regency project. I am Ian Farrell. I am the senior estimator for this project.
I'm Evan Amborn. I'm the project superintendent.
My name is Megan Schatz, and I'm the safety manager.
And I'm Sarah Myers, and I'm the project manager. So, a little bit about us. Since 1930, Stout Builders has stood as a cornerstone in trust and construction, proudly rooted in Menominee, Wisconsin. We expanded into Utah back in 2017. We chose to self perform all interior steel studs, insulation, and hanging drywall for this project. We decided to do this to have more control over the schedule, which is very important to us and important to you guys as well. We have a commitment to diversity. We exceed industry standards. Stout Builders has set a target of 10% for minority, disabled, and veteran business enterprises for this project. We emphasize delivering quality craft, meticulous attention to detail, and unwavering compliance with industry standards and expectations. Here are a few of our previous projects we decided to showcase. They're the Mark Hotel remodel in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, the Le Meridian in Salt Lake City, and the Grand Hyatt Deer Valley in Park City, Utah. The Mark Hotel was just completed back in January of 2026. We successfully managed this project at a $42 million budget. We repurposed the west wing of the Hilton Hotel into the Mark Hotel, and we're proud to announce that we completed this project with a zero injury record. Onto the Le Meridian, we successfully managed this one at a $90 million budget. This one has state-of-the-art facilities and 114 guest rooms. This was built on a base structure that supports hotel towers, residential buildings, and a parking garage. And lastly, the Grand Hyatt Deer Valley, we managed this one at a $300 million budget. There's 436 guest rooms and suites, and this was built on a mountain terrain, and it has direct integration with the ski infrastructure of that area. Here are a few of our critical path milestones that we decided to showcase. Our bid date was March 16th. In August of 2027, we will have the guest room mock-up completed. In February of 2028, we'll have the exterior envelope complete. In August of 2028, we'll have the contractor punch list completed. And then in October of 2028, we'll have the punch list completed and the commission start. We're hoping to have this finished by April 19th of 2029.
So with that, I'm going to go into the estimate a little bit. Our grand total for the project is $320,314,112. I wanted to highlight the 5 up there that we have that are the longest duration on our project, as well as the most expensive. General requirements, drywall and related, concrete, electrical, and structural steel. And the reason why I put general requirements up there is because of the request for the NBA All-Star game. Due to our schedule, as Sarah stated, April 19th is our end date, which does not meet the NBA All-Star date of February, or roughly in February. So we put in a $15 million contingency to speed up that schedule. We understand that that is important to you guys to have that revenue for the NBA All-Star game. So that is why we sped up that process. But we are confident in our schedule in April, and that's why we put it as an allowance and not move the date back yet.
Oh yeah, so we have quality control. The curtain wall and window wall is extremely important. Since the curtain wall is an important aspect, Stout Builders is hiring a third-party exterior envelope expert to facilitate the inspection of the curtain wall and window wall. The guest room mock-up. Stout Builders will provide a mock-up guest room that gets approval throughout the owners, which will set the minimum standard for each guest room that is made after the mock-up. Pre-construction. With pre-construction being such an important aspect to move along a project, we have a designated pre-construction team that are going to prioritize submittals, RFIs. They're going to work with the owner, subs, engineers, and architects to prioritize a smooth project. And then we will be utilizing Procore with QR codes. We will be using the QR codes In each room, it will have specs, drawings, the punch list, and documentation for each of those rooms. This will ensure everyone has the information needed for each of the rooms. Moving into site utilization, this is our site logistics plan. As you can see, the laydown area number 1, that will be the ballroom for climate-controlled storage, and it will also be the parking garage for things that do not need climate control storage. And then laydown area 2 and 3 are for crane-needed items. We will be shutting down 2 lanes of traffic. The red arrows signify our delivery route, and the orange box is our short-term parking. We will have long-term parking for our employees off-site, and we'll have busing to the project.
And then the last part we're going to touch on is safety. We understand for both our construction and for you guys that safety is our number 1 priority when building this project. So we would like to highlight just a few parts of our safety plan. The first thing we want to highlight is our mental health program. We have put in a Think Well initiative. We implemented this a few years ago and we've had great success with it. This includes mental health days for all of our Stout Builder employees. It's in addition to the paid time off. This allows all of our employees to come ready and safe to work. We also have vital cog in construction training. Our entire leadership team goes through the longer 2-hour training, and then every worker on site will go through the shorter 1-hour training. As a safety manager, I am certified to facilitate those trainings and will facilitate them once a month for the people that have not gotten trained. We also want to talk about our award program. We have 2 programs put in place. We have our Safety Star Initiative, or SSI. This is for our Stout Builders employees, and as we see them doing positive, safe work, we give them stars, and they accumulate them throughout the entire duration of the project, and they can then turn them in at the end for incentives. We also have a Bright Site Improvement Card program. This allows all Stout builders and subcontractors to inform us as the safety team the hazards and unsafe situations that they may see on site. They can fill one of these cards out, listing the hazard as well as the action to take to improve that. And then throughout the week, we will accumulate them. And then at the end of the week, we will talk, or there will be a drawing for an incentive like a gift card for people that do turn those in. We also wanted to highlight the public safety. We understand that this is in the heart of the city of Salt Lake and adjacent to the convention center. So we have already been working with the city of Salt Lake as well as neighboring businesses and emergency response to facilitate and make sure that we are safe throughout the entire duration of the project for both our workers and the general public. Some specific things we will be implementing are barricades around the perimeter as well as a daily inspection of that perimeter, making sure our barricades are in pristine condition as well as all of the signage that we have. We will also be using our Sentry Force security system to regulate the gates while we are both on and off site. With that, we will have a gate control procedure that includes at least 2 additional workers outside of the vehicle delivery driver to facilitate and make sure that both the delivery driver and any pedestrians or bikes and other vehicles are safe while we enter and exit the gates. For the restaurant 6th floor build out, we will be having a temporary wall to break the guest and construction experience, making sure that then the guest experience is still pristine while keeping debris and construction activities separate. And then finally, we will be having a crane pick plan. Anytime we use our crane, we will have a pick plan before we even hoist anything up. This is especially important on the sides of the convention center where we will not be picking anything while the convention center is occupied. If we do need to lift anything over the convention center, we will be doing that when it is unoccupied, whether that is during off hours or a day that there is no one in the convention center.
That's your time, team.
Thank you so much. I do have a quick question. You said so you are not hitting the schedule for the NBA game, and you said there's a $15 million contingency. Is the $15 million to actually get back on schedule, or is the $15 million to cover the damages for missing the date?
The 15 million would be to accelerate that schedule. So we feel confident in the experience that we have that our schedule is correct. And with that, we decided that that $15 million would cover that accelerated schedule. Yes.
In your presentation, you mentioned that that was an allowance. If that money is not spent, who gets to keep that?
That would go directly back to the owners. Yes.
What is the strategy to actually accelerate the schedule? How would you utilize that money?
Sarah, do you want to say that?
For sure. To accelerate that schedule and use that money, we don't have a direct plan right now. We would probably use that to include maybe more workers on the site if that's allowed. Get better equipment, technologies, anything to help us accelerate that schedule to meet our deadlines.
And I would like to add to that, it is important the fact that we are self-performing drywall and insulation. That is a big part of the project. So because we are self-performing that, we can accelerate that easier because we are in control of that.
So I notice you have not identified any tariff potential implications, and yet you're holding an $8 million allowance within your budget for that. That $8 million we will have to finance on the ownership side. So that's a large value. Are there other strategies that you would consider and reduce that $8 million allowance?
Right now, with the political environment, we really don't know what's going to happen, especially with steel and other things like that. So that is why we implemented the $8 million allowance. But we can work through that as we go forward. Yes.
We also understand that this is a multi-year project, and things can change in the economy and in the tariffs internationally and domestically pretty fast. So that is also why we have that allowance.
So to follow that up, does that $8 million include the current conditions happening with petroleum?
Yes, that does.
We're on this side. There's, a good chance of a lot of rain taking place during the project. Can you explain your water mitigation plan and how you plan on mitigating that? Because we've had some issues in the past with water infiltration and causing delays with the project.
Some things that we will be adding are like rain protective barriers when we have our shell not fully enclosed. And then when it is, we will have drainage around the site when possible to help mitigate that as well.
Right up here, up front. What's the biggest challenge you see on our project, and what are you going to do to mitigate it?
Biggest challenge.
I believe a huge challenge of ours would just be working in the downtown area. It's a small site and a big project, so mitigating the public safety, those walking around, and the traffic that goes around it, we're going to be working hard with our site utilization team and our site logistics team to help direct traffic so that we don't slow down any pedestrians or the cars around, and we also don't damage the buildings surrounding us as well.
Can you walk me through how you would handle a scope gap or incomplete drawings?
We are not prepared to answer that question. Sorry.
In right here in your proposal, we didn't see any information about your EMR or any other safety performance indicators. Can you tell me what your EMR is and what other performance indicators you're using throughout the project?
Yeah, of course. So part of that bright side improvement card, it's not just a site specific, it's Stout Builders for corporately. So we track a lot of information with that. So not only do we recognize the common hazards on this site, but all sites that we are currently working on and in the past, and then implementing safety procedures to make sure that those get reduced as we are continuing on the construction of this project.
Front left over here. Can you talk about your relationship with the AHJ on this project and how you're going to make sure the ownership group is in a good light with them throughout the course of construction?
We have solid relationships with all. We'll be working closely with both the ownership and the AHJ, doing weekly meetings, pre-construction meetings, and post-construction meetings to continue our relationship and strengthen it so we can work on more projects with all of you.
Good morning. You committed to achieving our 10% good faith effort. Do you have any plans to exceed this? And if so, how are you going to do that?
Absolutely. So our project executive for this project, her name's Anna. Having a woman as our project executive strengthens that percentage. We'll also be working with minority-owned subcontractors, and those that we have talked to also will be working with minority-owned subcontractors, and that will boost our rate.
So I had a question regarding your self-performed work. I understand it will support your schedule and quality efforts, but how have you or what have you done to ensure that you are cost competitive with the market and your other competitors?
Yes, so when we bid the project, we did a competitive bid with other subcontractors. So it wasn't just us putting in our own number, we were competitively bidding that number. So it is competitive, yes.
I believe in the RFP, it was mentioned that the owner, us, would be paying for the building permit, and we asked for a $200,000 allowance for that. Can you explain why there's a $4.4 million line item in your general conditions for that?
Say that again? I'm sorry.
I said we in the RFP we specified that we wanted a $200,000 allowance for the building permit for our discretion.
Yes.
You included a line item for $4.4 million for the permit in your general conditions. Why is that there?
Yes, so that is my apologies. That we can take out. I did include it also in the general requirements, so that was a mistake on my half of doubling up on that, so I apologize.
So I really appreciate that your main concern is safety and public safety and all that good stuff. And of course, safety's number one. But our main concern is you actually being able to power this building up. So in the 26 to 29 season, there's roughly 18 data centers scheduled to be built in Utah. How are you going to get the actual electrical components on site when you're competing with Microsoft, Meta, Google, beyond, hey, we've vetted it and, we're going to deliver on time? Because that sounds good, but how are you actually going to make that happen?
Yes, so we've completed a submittal registry, and a part of that we highlight the 7+ things that will take the longest lead times, and we believe that our the electrical components will be a part of that. So we have planned that ahead of time and really talked to our other competitors to see where they're at as well.
In the back corner here. Can you let us know what procedures you have in place to manage and track cost impacts of change orders? Currently we have, can you say that one more time? I'm sorry. Yeah. What procedures do you guys have in place to help you guys manage and track change orders as they come up during the project? Yeah. So currently, actually, I do not know the answer to that, so I'm not even gonna lie to you. I apologize. I'd rather be honest, right?
Hey, I've got another question back here in the back right. I've noticed in your general conditions you have a small budget, but nevertheless a budget for coffee and donuts for OSC meetings. What type of donuts and coffee could we expect should you be selected to do this project?
Only the best. Truly only the best.
Preferably jelly filled, in my opinion.
Or blueberry ones from Quick Trip in the Midwest.
And for coffee?
Starbucks. We'll have the good creamers too, so don't worry. We'll have flavors.
Just to tag on to that, but you're only carrying 2 months worth of donuts.
Yeah.
We are
So
never.
It is an idea of a celebratory kickoff and then closeout. That was my idea behind it.
With share donuts.
Oh yeah. You gotta come to share, yes.
Hey, Ian, what part of your estimate did you have trust your gut, on the most part of it?
For me, it was, I would say, trusting my gut with my teammates. Steel was something that I wasn't familiar with, so I had to give that to our helper, Rory. She helped a lot with that steel, and I trusted her gut with that because she had a lot of experience with that, and she did a fantastic job. So.
Ian, you said you want Danny DeVito to play you in a movie. Can you help us understand why Danny DeVito?
He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, I would not argue that.
Exactly.
I wish you guys were there to choose when we were there to choose those
It's a great
actors.
conversation. Yeah,
I've got a quick question. So, back to you talked about shutting down 2 lanes of traffic for this job. Can you tell me, that's pretty hard to do in a downtown environment. What kind of conversations did you have with the city of Salt Lake to get 2 lanes of road closures, and what was the cost that they charged you for road closures?
Ian might be able to tell you the cost, but for shutting down 2 lanes of traffic, we would have Jersey barriers out, and potentially temporary ones if 2 lanes of traffic is too much to shut down at certain times of the day.
And just to add on to that, there was a lot of back and forth between us and the city. It was a lot of working with each other and giving and taking. And so we're going to stay in close contact with the city as they are with us. When they need those 2 lanes of traffic open, we will work around that and change what we can do to make that work for the city.
And as far as the cost, I can't think off the top of my head, but I did include costs for lane closures as well as Jersey barriers, so they are in the proposal.
Just one more on that. The control into the site with the lane closures and everything, are the trade partners going to be responsible for their own certified flagman? Or you guys going to have a dedicated certified flagman controlling that?
Yes, we will have our own dedicated flagman for the road closure. So subcontractors will not have to worry about that. That is on our end.
And to add to that, from a safety of the gate control procedures, we will train both stout builders and subcontractors to help with that procedure. So then we can be more efficient with more people doing it, as well as allowing so for having it to be a smoother operation throughout the entire duration of the project.
Your SIP schedule appears to be top down, which leaves the lower floors sitting for quite a while. Was there a reason you went top down and didn't start at the bottom and work up?
Yes, so the reason why we did top down is because of protection of finishes. We don't want workers working through finished work on the bottom floors up to the top floors, potentially damaging, adding costs, stuff like that. So that is more of a quality control thing that we implemented into the schedule.
How do you plan on dealing with challenging subcontractors who are unable to perform to your safety standards?
That's a struggle that we've been working with for a long time now. It's always been a struggle. There's going to be those that don't comply with it, which is okay. Or it's not okay, but
It's something we have to work through.
It is.
It's a daily struggle in our construction, but we are here looking at safety as a positive safety culture, and we're not trying to be sticklers. Well, we are sticklers because we want to make sure everyone goes home the same way they came, but we want to make sure that everyone is being safe. And so we have extra steps implemented for people that might be struggling this. Like, as a safety team, we are really here as a resource and an expert to help make sure people are being safe, not to yell at them when they aren't, and making sure that they're doing that they can learn and become safer, not only on this project but throughout.
I was reviewing your staffing chart and your org chart. How confident are you that you can fit about 16 people in one 24 by 60 trailer?
Pretty confident.
Yeah, and we got it. As the building gets built, we will also be moving inside too as well, to help facilitate more space for people and more like community within our group.
Absolutely. And not everybody on that org chart will be on the site at the same time too, most days.
We've got time for one more question.
We are interviewing 9 other firms for this project today. Aside from the donuts, why should we choose you?
We're a confident company. We've done projects like this before. We know how to handle situations. We know how to handle different climates. I understand we're from Wisconsin, but we've worked here in Utah before, so we know how to deal with the weather. We know how to deal with the environment, the people, and we have the experience and the confidence to complete this project for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You guys.